Hey everybody, so in this video I'm going to show you how to upload files onto AWS, but also restrict access to only a certain amount of IPs. So this is great if you want to host something, but you don't want everyone being able to access it. Now, AWS, I'm pretty sure it doesn't promote putting malware or any payloads on here, so I won't be saying that. But if you are familiar with my other videos, you probably know where I'm getting at with this. And we'll be setting this all up with AWS's S3 bucket, CloudFront, and AWS's firewall, or WAF. And this is a good way of hosting a file online to be accessed to a remote system, because a lot of times in organizations on the browsers or on the computers that might have some sort of software that filters out or only allows access to certain domains. These domains are like well-known domains, they have to be aged, trusted. So AWS kind of checks marks all of those boxes. It's well known, categorized, all of that, trusted. The organization most likely is using AWS, so you don't have to worry about getting a domain, aging it, doing all that sort of stuff. But in some mature organizations, hosting files on, say, AWS might be some sort of indicator for them, so just something to keep in mind. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is head over to Amazon S3. We're going to go to Create Bucket. Right here, you're going to put a unique name, so one that can't be taken. So if I do like just test, you'll just get an error that it's taken once you go to create it. I'll try to create something a little bit unique, and that should be good. Everything else, just keep default. Public access, make sure that's all blocked off as well. We don't want anybody to be able to access it. And then just click on Create Button on the bottom. And then you'll see a new entry over here that your bucket got created. To upload files onto there is, again, pretty easy. Just click on that and go to Upload. Now right here, there's pretty much two ways. You could either click Add File and it'll open up your file explorer and you could just select it, or you could do what I'm about to do, and I'm just going to drag and drop into there. So I'm going to be putting a file called notapayload.txt because we're just doing good stuff here and nothing malicious at all. So just click Upload, take a couple of seconds depending on how big the file is, and then you just close this out. And typically, if we didn't have these restrictions to where anybody can access it, you would just click on the file, and then over here it has the URL that would take you directly to that file. And if I go into a new window and try accessing it, then we'll get access denied because our system doesn't have access to these resources because the bucket is block all for public access. All right, so now we're going to load CloudFront, and pretty much what CloudFront does is it takes your files from your S3 bucket, it serves them on edge locations, but it does this in a more secure way and helps load them faster, like through caching. So say you have these CloudFront setup, if there's a machine that accesses the files, then the next time that that machine tries to access these files again, it'll have these files cached, so it'll load a lot faster. So to get started, we'll go to Create a Distribution, and then under distribution name, we'll put something like YouTube test or whatever you want. You can add a short description if you like. For this one, I'm just going to be attaching one website or app, so I'll just select that. I'll just click Next. And then once you're on this page, just make sure that Amazon S3 is selected. And over here in S3 Origin, you could click Browse S3 and select the bucket that you would like it to be attached to. So in this case, it'll be the one I just created. Click Choose. Path, we'll leave that the way it is because I just want all the files on there to have the same setup. And then over here, we're going to keep the default settings. This one, make sure that it's checkmarked, which is checkmarked by default. And it's pretty much saying that this CloudFront is going to be able to have this private access to the S3 bucket, even though that S3 bucket is set to have no public access allowed to it. We're going to click Next. We're going to enable security protections through WAF, which we'll set up in a little bit, and click Next. All this, pretty much just everything that you've configured, everything looks good, so I just go to Create Distribution. So here's the details page that will load right after, and if you go to Origins, it should be showing your S3 bucket that you selected on one of the previous screens. So everything looks okay, and now we can go set up the firewall. So that's going to be in WAF and Shield, so you can just search that up. It should take you to a page like this. The first thing we're actually going to do is go over to the left side. So if this isn't showing, just click the little hamburger and select IP sets. right here, make sure to put global, because if you select one of these, it won't show up onto the next page whenever we're actually setting up the firewall. So make sure that's to global. It'll load up any previous global ones, which I have one already, but I'll be creating a new IP set. And these are going to be the IP addresses that we're going to give access to. You can also set this up to IP address that you want to deny, but in this case, we're going to set it to allow. And that whole allow deny part will set up onto the next part. And this one, I'm just going to put YouTube test, IPs for YouTube video. Again, the region's going to be global. And then over here, we're going to put an IP address that you would like to give access to. The thing I also like about this is you can put CIDR notation, so you can put like a /24. For this one, I'm actually going to put one of my machines on here. So I have a AWS machine in the cloud that I'm going to be giving it access to. Don't worry, it is unhackable because I'm about to delete it after this video. So click create IP, and then I see it here in the entry. So over here, just click Web ACL. Make sure that this is set to global. If not, then it's not going to be able to pair the CloudFront to it. So go to Create Web ACL. And also, you wouldn't have anything here if you're setting up this for the first time. This is from previous stuff that I've set up. So click Create. Right here, we're going to create a name. So we'll just put Web ACL, YouTube, just put whatever. Over here in AWS resource, we're going to select the one that we just created, the CloudFront. It'll have the description that you set. If you're unsure, then you could just go to your distributions and general, and it'll have the distribution name there as well. So just click that and add. And then we're going to scroll down over here, click next. Here is going to be important, so we're going to do add role, add my own roles and roles group, so the ones that we created, and it was an IP set. The name is just going to be that doesn't really matter too much right now. And here we're going to do the one that we just created, so it's going to be YouTube test. And now, since we have the whole bucket and everything with no public access, it's just going to be through the CloudFront. We set these IPs to give specific allow access to. So by default, this is set to block, but we're going to switch this to allow. So it's saying anything that falls within this rule set, allow access to. Here is going to be important. So of course, it's going to say the rule that we just set, but this is going to be the default rule. So if it doesn't match any rules that's set, what do we do? And we're going to block request. So it's pretty much saying check this IP rules. If whatever the rules are, if it doesn't match those, then block it. So it's pretty much going to block everything that's not in that IP address. And click next. Next is just everything that we've done. Just make sure that your rules are there and that the default web ACL is set to block. It's very important. If it's set to allow, then everybody's going to get access to it. Click create web ACL, and that should pretty much be it. All right, so now we can try to see if we have access from my machine, which isn't listed as an approved IP address. And in order to do that, we're going to get the URL that's in CloudFront, not the S3 bucket URL. So just click on your entry in CloudFront and go to distribution domain name, click little copy. I'm going to go to another tab, and over here I'm going to put the domain name plus the file that I'm going to try to get access to. So in my case is called notapayload.txt. And whenever I try going there, then I get the 403 error, request blocked. So that's the way it should be. And now I'm going to go on to my machine that is an AWS instance, but that IP address is the one that I actually put to allow access to. So let's switch over there and take a look and see if we get access to it. All right, so now we're on my machine that I did give access to. And if you don't know your IP, you can just go to curl ifconfig.io, and then it'll give you your public IP address. So I'm here, and I'm going to put the same URL that I got access to on my personal machine. Click enter, and then here we go. So this is my file, and it shows that only the specific IP address that we granted are the ones that get access to it. So pretty great. And I found this way as being a lot more reliable than what I was trying before, which was I was trying to set up the policies, like the access policies on the bucket themselves. No CloudFront, no firewall. But going through that way, I noticed a lot of issues where sometimes I would try to access it and I would get access denied. Other times I would refresh the page and then I would get access. So it just wasn't consistent. So I found this to be a lot more reliable. So I'm going to be having a couple of videos that's going to kind of pair in with all of this, but I wanted to have a specific video on how to host files online, and then the other videos are going to be using that to do certain stuff. So this is kind of just a straightforward way, not too complicated. If you have other ways that you like to host your files online, let me know, and maybe I'll make a video about it or look into it myself. So thanks for watching.